The Surgeon General says there is an epidemic of loneliness in the United States, saying the lack of connection can cause some serious health issues. Jean Holthaus, Regional Director of Outpatient and Recovery Services at Pine Rest, is here now with more on this. So glad you're here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Even before the pandemic, about half of American adults reported some level of loneliness, and this report shows that those numbers have just increased in the past 3 years.
That is definitely true.
And the physical impact of loneliness, poor connection, can include some serious health problems. What are some of those problems?
It actually increases your chances of having high blood pressure, having a stroke or coronary heart disease, and it increases your chances of having depression by 10% and can even lead to dementia in some, or contribute to dementia in some of those things.
And loneliness, we want to clarify, doesn't just mean being alone, but it has to do with the quality of the connections that we have.
Right. There's actually loneliness is a feeling, and it's created by social isolation, where we don't have enough connections. We're actually created as social beings, and we need that connection in order to be okay. And when we don't have it, we have the feeling of loneliness inside. So that feeling of loneliness is actually a symptom of the problem of being socially isolated. And socially isolated does not necessarily mean there aren't people around, but that you're not connected on an emotional level to those people. So I don't know about you, but I've occasionally sat at a supper meal and all of us were on our phones while eating, right? So we were in the same place, but we were not emotionally connected to one another.
Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot. And of course, the pandemic has a lot to do with it. But even before that, we were sort of becoming a more disconnected society.
We definitely were. I think as we've gotten more technology and we have not necessarily stewarded our use of the technology, the problem is not the technology, but how we use it. We've equated things like social media to connection. And there's a difference between like having, I had a video chat with my niece in Alabama on Sunday. So we used technology, but we were actually connecting and doing a scroll on your social feed, social network, social media, which gives you a sense of knowing that other person with no real connection to them.
Yeah. What can people do if they're struggling? What are some resources?
Sure. I think the first thing to think about is think about the 15-minute rule. In each and every day, make sure that for at least 15 minutes, you connect with another person. This does not have to be face-to-face. It can be a video call. It can be a phone call. It's some way in which, though, you're sharing your life with another person for at least 15 minutes. And when you do that, make sure that you're actually focused on that other person and you're not trying to multitask and do something else at the same time. And then we also know that when we get out and we help other people, that actually helps us emotionally. It gets us connected. That gives us that oftentimes we do those things together, number one. And number two, that act of giving back actually helps with that feeling of loneliness. And then the reciprocal is true as well. We need to be willing to accept help when other people offer it. Sometimes we're so busy being independent and doing it on our own that when people offer to help or offer connection, we kind of put up a wall and say, nope, sorry, don't need that. When in fact, maybe internally, we really need that.
Yeah.
So being willing to do that.
Yeah. All right. Great advice for all of us. Jean Holthaus, thank you so much.
You bet.